Right. Okay. Now from next week onwards, we are going to map the two lectures, that your batch as well as another batch. So that's why we are doing this. And now from today, what I thought was to do a small revision so you'd remember, and then we can start with the next batch together. So there won't be any kind of loss for you. And today I'm going to do a small revision, which I did for them sometimes back. So I'm going to do the same thing. So you'll be familiar and you'll be comfortable in, doing in getting along with them. Okay, let's see how we could do that. Right. Okay. So for that, what it is, we'll go to your LMS. Right. So let me share your screen. Let me share my screen, not your screen. Right. I'm going to share my screen. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Buddha. Thank you very much. Okay. Now let me take you to 16D EXP, the package-based data analytics subject. Right. So I'm going to take one example and we are trying to apply, because we did up to descriptive statistics and we try to apply what we studied. And this will be a revision indeed. So then you won't feel any discomfort. So again, if I again use this PowerPoint slideshow. So session one, let's see, session one. Here, session one introduction, just to give you a brief introduction of what we have done up to now. And then afterwards, we shall go for the analysis for the example which we are going to discuss. So that's the main idea, to apply what we have studied. Now, I hope you have now all installed SPSS, right? So I wish that you will do this with me. So today's exercise that you will do with me, I'll give you enough time. So please do it with me. Unless otherwise you are not going to get anything, right? So how many of you have installed SPSS successfully? Even that day I helped certain students physically. How many of you got SPSS fully installed? Can you raise your hands? In Teams, you can raise your hands. Okay, I have two students, three, four. Very good. So yes, about six students, seven. Okay. Okay, good, very good. So others who have not done yet, so please do install it, and I want you to do it with me. Since you have got SPSS, even I will ask you to submit at the end of the session what you have done. No, I'm not going to do that. So don't worry. Okay, but you have to do it. So this revision, there's no any purpose if you don't do it. Right? So let's do it together. But you don't need to submit anything at the end, right? Okay, because I don't want to force anything. It's up to you, right? So, okay, Pata, you can put your hands down, right? Okay. So first things first, I'm going to just cover what we have covered up to now. So here you can see this is the package database analytics, right? And here we are discussing first about SPSS. And in SPSS, you know that there are several statistical packages. And why are we using SPSS out of all these statistical packages, right? The main reason is what? It's the most easiest thing, easiest package to learn, right? That's the reason. And what stands for SPSS? SPSS stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences. Although there are open source packages like R, it's quite very difficult to understand it as well as apply. Although it's once you understand that, it will be fine. But again, to understand it, it takes a great amount of time. It has a steep learning curve. Then, of course, there's data and Minitab SAS, assisted and statistical, which are quite advanced. But on the other hand, I will teach you this data package as well as there's a new package that has come. It was there for some time, but again, you can also study that. That's called Smart PLS, right? So why not you add that to this list? Smart PLS. Smart PLS. So Smart PLS should be written together. So in that particular slideshow, you can put that, right? And then what SPSS is a powerful statistical package which can perform, right, several statistical analysis, and which has a graphical interface, which we discussed. And I told you that you can directly enter data into SPSS as well as what? You can import data from Excel. So we did both. And today we'll be doing that again. And we'll see how to prepare a data set in SPSS and how to do frequency analysis, right? And including what's missing data, how to treat missing data, those things we'll discuss. I'll give you time, 10 or 15 minutes, and even I will ask you to share your screen if you wish to do so. If you do not wish to do so, don't worry. I'm not going to force anyone. So, because today is being a revision. Yes, so you can enter data, and I even told you to maintain a small notebook where you will be taking down notes on commands that you pass. So I taught you how to run SPSS, starting SPSS, where I'll go to start menu, and then you can go to, oh, the easiest way is go to Windows search button and then type SPSS, and then you can click on SPSS if it is already installed. So I was telling you that in the data editor window of SPSS, there are two sub windows. What are the two sub windows? Once you open SPSS, there are two sub windows. What are those? Let me open SPSS and show you again. What are the two sub windows? So yes,
Data view and variable view.
excellent, Putha. That's very correct. Data view and the variable view. Thank you, Putha. Thank you for answering that question. Really appreciate it. I'm now opening SPSS and I'm going to show you that which we used. And then we'll go to the exercise file, and after that we'll do the exercises that are there. And I'm going to allow you time to do the exercises as well, and then we'll discuss the answers. I'm going to give you the answers, don't worry, and I'm going to display how to do the things. So this is the splash window. The splash window went out, and it's a query window, in fact. And you just close this, not required. And you can see, yes, you are very correct. This the SPSS data editor window, and you have the variable view as well as data view windows. Right. My next question to you is, now, if you are to create a data set in SPSS from the scratch, from the beginning, not to import data, but to create a data set in SPSS, so what are the ways that you can do? Or what are the ways that you could? So you should start with what? If you want to create a data set in SPSS, you should start with variable view or data view.
Variable view.
Variable view.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Variable view, variable view. That's absolutely correct. Right? Very good. So I'm going to show you today how to, now if the data is, so sometimes you might be much comfortable in using Excel. So that's why I even taught you how to import data from Excel to SPSS. Right. So we'll do these things today again as an exercise. Right. Rather than retyping the information, there are different ways that you can create the variables, which I'm going to show you today. Right. Shortcuts today, right? Okay, then once you create the variables in variable view, you go to the data view and you enter the data, right? So that's we discussed, and today also in the exercise I'll show you some shortcuts. Then also, the in SPSS you could save both a data file as well as what you have to save the data file as well as the output file. So there are two files that will be created and saved. The data file extension is what? Can someone remember? Data file extension name what? Dot
SAV.
SAV. Very good. It's dot SAV. And for the for the output file, what's the extension? Dot
SPV.
SPV, very good, excellent. I'm really happy the student, one student is answering, and I hope the others also understand right what we are discussing. Right, so we discussed it, and then we created a data set in SPSS. Right, so it's like this. So this data is already there. So we created this data using SPSS. Right. Today I'll show you some other methods also that you can use to create, to create a data set in the exercise that I'm going to discuss after this. So how many observations are there here in this file? How many observations are there?
5.
5 observations are there. Excellent. 5 observations. And how many variables are there?
8.
8 observations are there. Eight variables are there. 8 variables are there. 5 observations are there. Very good. And also I make you understand that the now the numeric variables are there. Right, we have to specify that as what? Numbers, numeric variable. Then there's this alphabet, right? ABCD, that's string variables. And date is the date type that you have to specify. There are other types as well, but these are the main types that are there. But on the other hand, do we type male, female? Do we type male, female? No, we don't type male, female. We type it as what? We type it as
The code.
a code. Indeed, very good. So female 1 and male 2. Likewise, we can code it. We can code it. Even married, unmarried, we can code it as okay, 1 and 2, 1 married and 2 unmarried. And then satisfaction levels also we can specify highly satisfied to highly dissatisfied in a Likert scale from 1 to 5. So the number of children is number of children, and date is given as date. Right. Now today also we'll be doing this. Then how many observations? Yes, you told 5. How many variables? 8. And there are different types of variable. Name variable, pose, alphabet, so string type, age, and gender. Even we gave it as numeric because why? Because we were expressing that in numbers. Date is the date type. So then I taught you about the naming rules, that you cannot have duplicate names, and the name cannot contain spaces. And also you cannot start a variable name with a number. And there are certain reserved characters that you cannot use. We discussed these things. These are the types of the variables, although there are several types. We have main 3 types that we'll be using: numeric, string, and date type. So missing data and 4 levels of measurement. And then even I taught you how to import data from Excel. So these things we discussed, and we did certain calculations as well. And today we are going to extend what we studied a little bit more with an example, so you'll be very comfortable. And after that, we'll be doing a frequency analysis, right? So I'm going to give you some time to do this, and then I'm going to show you how to do that, right? Even I will be applying how to apply missing data. For that, I'm going to use an exercise, so you can go to LMS. So the exercise is already there. Okay, so they have put the videos also. That's good, really good. Package-based data analytics. Okay, so let me go to the exercise. Okay. That's the exercise. Did upload it? Yeah, here it's there. So Buddha, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you, I'm going to remind you, I'm going to revise the knowledge that you have got right again on up to descriptive statistics, which we discussed, and that's where we finished. And this is a revision again to remind you and help you to understand the things. And if you don't understand something, please let me know. I'll be very happy to elaborate. Right. So for that purpose, so we'll download these 2 files. Can you please download and open these 2? It's one is a Word file. The other one is an SPSS dataset. So first download the Word file. All exercises for today's purposes will require both. So I'm going to download both the data file, the SAV file, as well as the all exercise file. So then using this, we'll try to apply our knowledge that we have got. And I'll also try to show you a shortcut. So open this Word file. So I downloaded both files. Now I'm going to open the Word file. And by the way, I'm really sorry for what happened yesterday because my computer malfunctioned and I could not do anything. Right. Good. So yes, now this is the exercise number 1. So that's what we are going to do. So I'm going to allow you about 10 to 15 minutes to do this exercise. Right. Then I'll show you how to do it, the shortcut as well. Right. Now you can see in this exercise, there's a short questionnaire about, tobacco smoking. Right. Tobacco and what people think about taxes on tobacco. That's a silent killer indeed. And I think now no person, particularly the younger generation, particularly you are, you are very intelligent, right? Not like some elderly, some old people who are still smoking and wasting and killing themselves and suiciding themselves as well as killing others as well who are besides them. Because the other poor children and other people in their homes are exhaling, right? Inhaling, in fact, right? Inhaling that poison. So this is about taxes on tobacco. You can see the reference number is given for the exercise, and this particular survey was done by University of Bristol. And these are the questions. How old were you in the last birthday? Indicate your gender, male, female. Do you smoke at all? Let's say male number 1 and female number 2 or something. If you want to reverse that, that's fine. Then do you smoke at all? Yes, no. If no, then go directly to question number 9. So that's a skipping pattern, because if that person is not a smoker, then no point asking how many cigarettes that person smoke, right? So yes, no. If no, if not a cigarette smoker, then you can go to question number 6. Other than if that person is a cigarette smoker, then that person will have to tell how many cigarettes that person smoke, right? Then do you smoke a pipe? Do you smoke cigars? Have you ever tried to give up smoking? Yes, no. Tell me what you think about on each of the following statements. Then the perceptions on different statements are there. You can see it's in a 1 to 4 Likert scale, not a 1 to 5. So the midpoint is near, it's disagree, agree. There's no midpoint, right? I strongly disagree, agree, and strongly agree. So there's no midpoint. That's fine, right? For this questionnaire, that's what they have adopted. So based on different theories, it might be case. It might be the case. Then you have the date of the questionnaire, and the data is given. Now the first exercise that I want you to do is, right? The first exercise I want you to do is create a data set, right? Create a data set. Create this data set in SPSS, right? Okay. I will do it, of course, and I'll show you how to do that as well. There's a shortcut to do this, but again, uh, right, if the data is already there. So I'm going to give you time, right? Maybe I'll give you about 10 minutes to create this data set in SPSS. And then we'll do some descriptive analysis and some kind of other information we'll be discussing, right? So can you create the data set in SPSS? So I'll be giving you 10 minutes. Then maybe I'll ask you to share your screen and show me how you have created or the work in progress that you have done. No, 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 no. I'm not going to do that. Right? I know if I'm going to do that, it will make you uncomfortable if you are unable to do it at the moment. I do understand. So please take time, and I'm going to stop share the screen, and I'm going to create it myself, right, and show you. So And I'll give you a shortcut as well how to create this. Right? I'll give you a shortcut how to create this. Okay. Can you take 10 minutes and do this? And then thereafter, I'll show you how to do that as well. Right now the time is 9:50, 7:55. I'll give you till 8:10. Right, I'll give you 8:10. And if you encounter any problem, I'm going to stay. I'm going to just stop share the screen, and then I'm going to create it myself as well. And I'm going to show you a shortcut of doing that. But can you start creating this data set? And tell me if you have any questions while you are creating. Anyone can speak anytime. Then I'll tell you how to do that. Is that clear, Buddha? My God, we have 15 students. How come 15 students? Right? You are all very much welcome, right? You are very much welcome. Even if they are all 200, or not 200, right? Let's say the entire batch is there, you are very much welcome. And also, even if you are taking the research subject, perfectly, it's fine. You can register for that subject and do that subject. And if you are interested in data analysis, you are very much welcome to this subject, because again, in research, you require to do data analysis. But on the other hand, if you are going to, again, I think you know this, which I told you again and again, you know this story. So if you are going to stop your general degree from here, my suggestion is, although it's very counterintuitive that I'm telling this, usually a lecturer wouldn't do this to tell that not to take his or her subject, because anyone would like the students to take his or her subject. But what I suggest you is to do the research if you are going to stop from the general degree. Because it might be the last chance that you can do research. That's all, not because of anything else. But again, it's but again, it's your choice, of course. And if you like to do the subject, you are very much welcome with open hands. I would like to receive all of you. So even if you were not in the lecture at the beginning, don't worry. I'm going to teach you from the scratch by using this example, right? For the people who were there, it's a revision. For the people who are not there, you can see how I'm going to do it. Even for the people who were in the lecture, it will be a novel experience. I'm going to give you some shortcuts that I use when if the data is already there, then how to import that 10 things I'm going to show you. But on the other hand, just let's see, I'm going to give you the chance to create this data set in SPSS. Then I'm going to show you how to do that. So please take 10 minutes. And if you want a little bit more time, please let me know. I'll be very happy to give them. Okay, 10 minutes. So it's okay. 10 minutes, 8, 10. Try to create this simple data set. Right, so you can see, so this data set, you can see there are 15 observations. And how many variables are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 variables. So can you please create I'm going to stop share the screen and I'm going to create it by myself, but not to show you the shortcut. Later on, I'll show you that, of course. I don't keep anything with me. I am going to give you everything that I know related to data analysis. A teacher always would love to share, isn't it? Sharing is always clear. So please take 10 minutes. And if you want more time, again, sir, sir, we are still creating. Could you please allow more time? Okay. So I also will now create it by myself with a shortcut. Let's see whether I can apply that and then I can teach you. Is my question clear, Kuda? Is it fine? So if you cannot do that, don't worry. I'm going to show you from the scratch how to do that and how to in fact do it in a shortcut. Right? So I think some students were not there when I taught this at the beginning. So I'm going to teach it again, right? But in a different way. So for the students, it will be a quiet revision. For the others, it will be a novel experience as well. So if you do have any questions, concerns, please ask me. Right? Any question you ask me, I will, while I'm doing this, I will explain that to you. So I'm creating the data setting. Then I'll teach you how to do that. Don't worry. So I'm also creating that. And I'm going to show you how I did that afterwards. Oh, so I'm creating this. Okay, let's see whether it works. I'm following a shortcut. Other cut a shortcut in. So how's the progress? කොහොමද the progress? තාම කරගෙන යනවා සර්. හරි හරි කරන්න කරන්න. Okay, it was quite successful, but I'll teach you from the scratch. So do you want more time? Yes, 2 minutes more. How's the progress? Progress එකම. So in a physical lecture, I would have walked around and looking at what people are doing. එන්නම් කට්ටිය බකන් නිලන් ඉන්නකොට නම් පේනවා. මට පේනවා මේකෙන් කැමරා එක වහලා තිබුණත්. No, I cannot see you anything. Right? Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, it's almost now 8:10. කොහොමද progress එක? Anyone who like to tell about the progress? The progress එක එච්චරම නෑනේ. Okay. Right. So let me show you how to create this from the scratch. Right. So for the people who have not come, so and who you can watch my first videos, but again, I'm going to teach you even a shortcut. Right now, here the data is here. It's in Word file. Right. This Word file data is there. Now I'm going to teach now. We need to create this data into SPSS file. So as you told, there are 15 observations. That's correct. Then there are how many variables? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 variables are there. So if I were you, I will first create this data in Excel. Right? My data file Excel because it's easy. Then I will import that to SPSS. That's the easiest method. Rather than typing one by one. If you want to type, you can type. But rather than typing, the data is already in soft copy. So why not we import that? So I'll tell you exactly how I did and how I'm going to do that. So here I'm going to first open an Excel file. Any Excel file, right? I just open an Excel file. So please do this with me. Then you can have hands-on experience, particularly for students who were not there or who were there, but as a revision, you can do this. So you can see that I'm going to open a blank Excel file. I'm going to make it a bit larger so you can see better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this table. Copy this table. This table. And put this table into Excel. Right? So that's the first thing what I did. But if you carefully look at, you can see now the top row should be only variable names. But you can see there are 2 rows for variable names because that was a little bit larger. This is not allowed. Right? So the first thing what you have to do is you have to now these are in 2 rows. Rows දෙකක තියන්න බෑ. එක row එක විතර variable name එක තියෙනවා. So what I'm going to do is these are merged, right? Now in some cases it's merged. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these, things over here. The first top row, and I'm going to unmerge that. In Excel, you can unmerge things, right? So you can unmerge that. And now it's in 2 rows. It says reference. So these are the reference numbers of the participants. So I will say ref. You cannot keep spaces in SPSS. So I will say ref underscore NO. Right now, ref no, because later on I'm going to delete this row. Very well, please keep in mind that only the top row can be variable names. There cannot be then afterwards the data should be there. But now you can see there are 2 rows. It's not allowed. 2 rows are not allowed. So that's why I'm going to delete this. So I made it reference now. And age is there, no problem. Gender, smoke. So whether the person is a smoker, I'll put smoker. PR smoker. Whether smoke or not. Then smoking cigarettes. Now this is in the second row. It's not allowed. Cig. So smoke. So it's over here smoke. I'll say underscore cigs. Because I'm going to delete the second row. පළවෙනි row එකේ විතර variable names තියන්න පුළුවන්. How many? The many is in the other row. So I'm going to make how underscore many. Right. Then pipe. Right, with the pipe smoker, cigar smoker, give up. So up is down here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go to give and I'm going to say underscore spaces allow karanne, give up. So whether the person has then tax, these are the opinion on head. So I will say this, since these are opinions, I will say OP. You can give any term underscore opinion on tax. Then I'm going to take the same stem OP tax. Then OP health, opinion on health. You can just type OP underscore health. Then OP cinema, whether tobacco smoking in cinema is allowed. Oh, right. Likewise, then you can have the date survey. Then now you can delete the second row because you have adjusted the first row properly. Because you cannot have variable names in 2 rows. Only the first row can have the variable names. So I'm going to delete now this second row. Right. Now let's make this beautiful. Right. I'm going to select all this table and I'm going to say times New Roman and I'm going to make it 12. Right. Okay, now it's beautiful, right? And yes, date survey is there. And now as you can see date survey, you can see that there's a space. Spaces are not allowed. So therefore I could say date underscore. In giving names of the variables, you cannot put any spaces. And nothing starts with a number, that's great. And also I told you that now here the date format is 2/11/2016. I don't prefer these slashes. It creates problems. So I will make dots. Instead of slash, I'll make a dot, 2 dot, then 10 dot. That means 2nd October 2016. That's what it says. So I'm going to put. Now, how can you do that quickly? Right now, I did that to show you. But if I want to do this quickly, I will say Control H. Control H means in Excel, find and replace. So what I'll say is instead of slash, put a dot. Find the slash and put a dot. I'm going to replace all, and within seconds, everything became in that format. Because I prefer this format in SPSS. Right? So likewise, you have to make these preparations and then you can save the file. So I'm going to save the file somewhere. Maybe I'm going to save that in my desktop. Right, in my desktop, I'm going to save it. Maybe I'm going to find my desktop. So yes, it consumes some time. I don't know why. So if it is the desktop, it takes at least 1 or 2 minutes, you know, to select my desktop. So please bear with me, right? Rather than data set create කළත් ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන් මේකට ගන්න වෙලාව ආරම්භ කරන්න. So I don't know, for some reason it takes a huge amount of time to select the desktop and then save this file on the desktop. So give me some time for that. තාම desktop එකට ආවේ නැහැ. තාම හිතන් ඉන්නවා. my documents. Then once I create this Excel file, then what you can do is you can download this. you can import this and download this without import this or download. In fact, you can import this very easily through SPSS. That's my plot. So you don't need to type a lot. And also I'll be giving you some industry practices that we do when we do these things, like creating a code book. What do you mean by a code book? I'll teach you that as well. So it will make your lives and the people who are using this file very easy to create a code book in Excel itself. I'll teach you how to do that. So then you can keep the data over there, and later on, if even in a later instance, you can see what's what. If not, you might have forgotten. I'll tell those things. So what's a code book and how we can do that. Okay, finally, right. Okay, I go to this particular folder and I'm going to say, okay, this is tobacco opinions. Give any name for this Excel file, of course. So I gave tobacco opinions. And now this Excel file is there. And I will rename this sheet 1 as data. Right. Then I will create a new sheet here and I'll call it code book. Code book. So you'll understand what's this code book. So now for these, now these are short names. So what I will do is I will expand. I will expand these names. So later on, I might forget what are these things. So I'll expand it like, okay, I'll give the labels. I'll create the labels. So you'll see how easy after that is in SPSS to copy and paste. So I'll go to codebook and I need it like across. So I'm going to paste it like this. Okay, so now you can have this. So this is the reference number. So I'll type reference number. So this is the label. So this is the variable. I'll call this, okay. I'll put a first row. I'll say these are the variables and label. Long lengthy is what's the label, right? So I will remove all these unnecessary rows, and then I'll put this over here, and then give the label. So later on you'll understand, right? So reference number. I'll say age of respondent, then gender of respondent, right? Smoker of respondent. So automatically, it was given gender of respondents, whether a smoker, whether a smoker, whether a smoke, and then it says smoke cigs. I will smoke or cigarette. Then how many? Right? So in fact, now you don't need to have any underscores. You can say how many six, how many, right? Then pipe of not, whether the pipe smoker, you can say pipe. Cigars, whether a cigar smoker. I don't know these days whether people even right? I don't know why, because it's a foreign country. They have done this survey. If not in Sri Lanka, they would have asked, okay, whether Suruktu is there. Isn't it? And then people will ask over this. So opinion on tax, health, and opinion. So rather than OP, I'll say opinion. Opinion on tax of respondent. So I'll copy this text from here. And then I'll go over here and in terms of copy, I'll say opinion on tax. Opinion on cinema. Whether it's okay to smoke in cinemas. date of the survey. So let me say rather than underscore date of survey. So the labels are there. Now it's very easy to understand. Now the next thing is you can also give the codes. Now the next thing what you can use, you can give the codes. Right. If not, later on you will forget this codes. Now reference node does not have any code. Age. Now let's go and see the original data set. It says okay. Indicate your gender. Okay. So here now reference number, does it have an issue? There's no code for it. Then age. There's no issue. There's no code. It's the real age that you're trying. But then indicate your gender, male, female. So then you can say 1. You can say male. So this is the code. And then you can say, you can put a comma and say 2 equals female. So even later on, when you are going to see this particular, Excel file, you will understand what's 1 and what's 2. Because now in the data rather than M and F, we are going to put what 1 and 2. So since we have now in the code book, we have decided 1 is male, you can go to data and you can say mx equals 1. So I can do Control H, again find and replace. So I'll say find m and make it number 1. Replace everything. Okay, it was okay. Sorry, I had to undo that. I put point number 1, which cannot happen. So Control H. It's not point number 1, it should be number 1. Replace all. Okay, it's number 1. Then if female, I'll ask it to make it 2. Replace all. Now Excel has 1 and 2, but later on, since you will forget, in the code book, it says what's 1 and what's 2. Then the second question is whether a smoker. Do you smoke at all? Indicate your gender. Then do you smoke at all? So rather than smoker, we can say whether a smoker, do you smoke at all? You can give the same question. Do you smoke in the label at all? So there you can see do you smoke at all? Yes, 1 and 2 no. So again you can say 1 equals yes. Then comma 2 equals no. So now we can even later on we can understand what's yes and no. So you can see 1 is yes, smoke variable is this variable, smoke variable. Right. Then the next one is you can see, do you smoke cigarettes? So smoke cigarettes, rather than we can say, do you smoke cigarettes? Right. Something cigarettes. I think my spellings are wrong. Purposely I made it wrong because I don't like that thing, right? Okay, cigarettes. RATTS. I don't know why people smoke. Okay, cigarettes. Okay, then again you can give the code. Right here it says what? Do you smoke cigarettes? Yes, 1, no, 2. So you can again do that. The code book you can say, right, smoker, yes, no. You smoke cigarette, again you can copy and paste this one, same thing. Yes, 1, no, 2. So you can copy and paste. So how many? So you don't need a code for that because you are going to write a real thing. And do you smoke pipes? Yes, no. Do you smoke pipes? So again you can copy this and you can paste over here. So rather than saying that, I'll say do you smoke pipes? Do you smoke pipes? Pipe right? Papala get does the pipe for Lanka. Right. Then do you smoke cigars? Cigars. So rather than putting this cigars, I'll say do you smoke cigars? Right. And I'll again say yes and no. Later on, you'll see how I'm going to take all these to, to SPSS. Have you ever tried to give up smoking? So rather than give up, I'll say, have you ever tried to give up smoking? So again, it will be what? Yes, no. So same coding. So coding is given because we are doing quantitative data analysis. So express things as much as possible as numbers. Then strongly disagree one, disagree two, agree. So you need to also keep that in mind. One is equal strongly disagree. Then comma 2 is equal to what? Disagree. Then there's no 3. There's in fact 3. Okay, there's 3. 3 is equal agree. And then finally 4 is equal what to what? Highly agree. So there's no midpoint, not 1 to 5. Highly in different places they might choose it. So you can see highly agree to highly disagree. Or they say strongly disagree. So let's use the strongly disagree. Strongly agree. Right. So now we know later on if we want to see that we can know what's that. So the same thing applied to all opinions and then right 1 to 4 and date of the questionnaire survey. So date of the questionnaire survey. So there you can see it's given in date and month and year. You can even put that within brackets. Date of the survey, date, dd dot mm dot yy. So that format is given. So there's no coding for that. So now even later, when you are going to look at this Excel file in this code book, so this is the best practice that we do as data analysis and researchers. We keep a track on what is this. The variable is given, the label of the variable is given, and the codes are given. Right. And if some notes are there, we can give that as well. Right. So this one is the best practice. First, create this data set in Excel. Then afterwards, what we can do is we can now import this data set immediately to SPSS. Right. So I prefer to do things in Excel because it's easy to create, data sets and manipulate them. Right. So now the data sets is okay. And you can see that now everything is given in coding. And we made this also according to this. Right. I think now things are high time to import. Now, next thing what you have to do, now you have created the Excel file, even a code book, which I did not teach earlier is there, right? Even a code book is there. Now what you need to do is, once you have created this, it's very easy to now import this to SPSS. Shall we do it together? How to import this? Very simple. First thing is what? Once you create and do all the changes in Excel, what you need to do before you import?
Close the Excel.
Close the Excel file. Very good. Close the Excel file. First step is to structure the dataset properly, and then the next step is to close it. So I'm going to close the Excel file, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a fresh SPSS session. How to do that? I'll go to Windows. So first you need to install SPSS. And if you need to install SPSS, I can help you to do that. And I shared the file with my good students. And also in the LMS, I have given a link where you can download SPSS and install it. So if you are not already done, that day, I think we about 5 or 6 students got it installed. But if you now here, I can see there are several students, at least 15 students are there, right? So if you do want SPSS, right, you can download it from the LMS. There's a link. And if you cannot access that, please let me know. I'll help you to get that, right? So then it's SPSS. So I'm going to open SPSS. It's 23, 26, anything okay, no problem. So I have 26, I'm going to open is 26. Open a fresh SPSS session. A new SPSS session is a fresh SPSS session. Just once you install the package, you can open that. Right. Then I'm going to show you now how to import that from Excel to SPSS. Right. Of course, you can directly create the file in SPSS, but sometimes some things are better to do in certain things. SPSS, yes, you can create data files, but again, creating that in Excel and importing that might be much easier. Might be much easier. Right. Okay, then see what I'm going to do now. Now comes the interesting part. Right. Now SPSS is starting. Of course, it takes a little bit of time to open that. Right. Okay. Then came that splash screen, that early IBM SPSS, that was the splash screen. Then comes a query window. Just close it. Close the query window. We don't need to see that. Then you can see now the data editor window is there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import that Excel file I created into SPSS. But remember, the data is in the data tab, right? In the data sheet. Right. Okay. How to do that? So this is the step you can take down if you want, right? First, create the Excel file, close it. Then step number, let's create it, close it. Step number 2. Then step number 3. Then you can now open that Excel file, import that Excel file. How to do that? You'll go to File. Then what? Open and go to where? Data. Right, you can take down now, put a small arrow, file, put a small arrow, open, put a small arrow, and say data. So go to data. So this I did not teach right earlier. So I'm teaching you something new as well, like creating in Excel and then importing, right? Which I taught you to a certain extent, but again today I'm teaching you fully, right? So it says, okay, where to open the file. So I'm going to go in my desktop. In a temporary folder, I save that particular file, that which I created. So in my now accessing, I don't know, it takes ages, although I have put a 512 SSD drive to this machine, right, to make things very fast. But again, it's very fast indeed, to be very truthful. Then I put it in temporary, but you can see, although the Excel file, I put it in this folder, it's not there. Why?
File type is
Very good. The file type is what? Excellent. Is not SA. So change the file type what? Change the file type to what?
Excel.
Excel. Excel. Now you can see here, tobacco opinion file is there. And what you can do is you can press open. And then it will give a small query window. So yes, in SPSS 26, it will give you like this, a preview as well, but in the 23, it won't give a preview, don't worry. And make sure that this tick is there. In whichever version, this tick is there, and you can see now in worksheet, there were 2 worksheets, data worksheet as well as what? The code book. So it has selected the first worksheet data. Yes, that's what we want. And it has automatically selected the range from A1 to M15. That was the range. And see that this tick should be there. Read variable names from the first row of data. So that's why if I remove this tick, don't do that. If it is not there, put this tick. If I remove this tick, you can see what happens. So it automatically again puts that. See what happens is that the first row becomes a variable name, which is wrong. The variable name should be these column headings. So therefore, make sure that you put this tick. If the tick is not there, please put that. Now you can see the column headings are the variable names, reference number, agent, other things. That's it. And you can press OK. Now within seconds, you don't need to retype anything. You can see the name of the variable came, and you can see the data, all the data has come, and that's it. The first things are first, you can see, yes, the variable names have come. And please check now the types are correct, right? Because now you just import. Now you can see reference number is a number. Of course, there's no problem. Age is a number. Gender is also a number, right? Because we have coded as 1 and 2. Gender, we have to tell SPSS later on what's 1 and 2. That's why the code book comes handy. Then smoker, yes, it's again 1 and 2. Smoke, how many cigarettes, how many pipe. But is date string type? Is date string type? No. Date is date type. Date is date type. There's no string type data here. Date is date type. So we have to change the string to date type. So please click on here. And you can see date. Then there are different date masks. We choose the date mask what? dd.mm.yyyy. That means 4 y's. dd.mm.yyyy. So that's what we wanted. So that's the date type. Okay, that's great. So please make sure that you use this and you can press OK. Now it became the date type. So you can go to the date variable and you can see now this is a date. Right? Okay, that's great. Now the next thing what you need to do is you need to give the labels properly. In Excel, you cannot give the labels, right? So now I'm going to go and open the file, the Excel file that I created. So if I'm going to close everything, check pages. So I'm going to go to temporary folder. So temporary folder, which I saved the tobacco opinion. So open that Excel file you created. Right, and go to your code, right? To that code book. Right, go to the code book. Now the data was extracted from data code book and copy the labels from top to bottom. Right, reference number from reference number to date. Copy these and just go to SPSS. There's my SPSS. Okay. Yes, go to SPSS. So this is the SPSS file that just I imported and paste it. So you can see within seconds, all the labels came. Remember, for the students who came a little bit, now you could understand the names are short names, right? And you can see you cannot leave spaces, you cannot have duplicates, you cannot start with a number. Those are some rules, but labels can have labels. No worries. And also now you have to tell. Now gender, it's just here. Gender, you can see here, it's 1 and 2. But we now need to tell SPSS what's 1 and what's 2. So what's 1 and what's 2? Now you can remember because the code book, it says gender, 1 is male and 2 is female. So we can go here and we can go to values, right? Under the gender variable, there's values. We can specify the value labels. 1 is male and 2 is female. You can go here and you can say 1 is, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm very lazy to type. 1 is male. Okay. And I'm going to enter that, add that, and 2, I'll say is female. There's no order. You can give any order. If you want to make female 1 and male 2, there's no problem. So 1 and 2, and you can press OK. Now SPSS knows what's 1 and what's 2 under value function. Then let's go to the next one. Smoker, whether smoker yes, no. So smoker variable has a value as well, value label as well. 1, I would say yes, it's easy to type. Then 2 is no. Okay, and I would press OK. Then next variable is what? The smoking cigarette, whether the person is smoking cigarette. So now you don't need to again enter that. You can copy this. You can select the first one and press the right mouse key and press copy, and then you can press paste. So smoking cigarette also yes, no. Then also pipe, whether a pipe smoker, pipe is also, you can paste it again, paste, yes, no. Then also you can see cigarettes, cigars. Again, it's yes, no, whether the person is smoking cigarettes. Then give up, whether the person has tried to give up. Again, it's yes, no. Then comes the opinion, strongly disagree to strongly agree. So that one also you have to specify. These are called Likert type questions or interval type questions, like the response are interval type. Here, Puta, what you can do is you can then again specify what's 1 to 5. So you have to tell spaces. Here 1, you can go over here. You can say 1 is what? 1 is, again, you can say strongly disagree. Now it's copy and pasting. That's why it's very easy once you create that in Excel. 1, then 2. So as researchers, that's what we do. In real research, we keep this code book in a different Excel sheet. In number 3, agree. So I prefer to do it in Excel and then import it. Agree. And number 4, can say strongly agree. So you have 1 to 4. You'll press OK. And then you are going to copy this and you are going to paste it to the next opinion on health and opinion on cinema. And date is not having any values. Right? Then now we shall save this file. It's the Excel file, the SPSS file. You can go file and you can press save and you can save it anywhere that you want. Let's say I'm going to save it in the temporary folder in my desktop. So I will say, okay, this is what? This is opinions on tobacco. And you can see the file extension is .sav. The data file in SPSS, it's .sav. So leave it as it is and you can press save. So the file is saved right now. Okay. But however, now this is what you have to do, right? It will take around maybe 20 minutes, although I gave you 10 minutes to 15 minutes. It would have taken 20 minutes, right? Okay. Then, but if you look at now, you can see it says male and female. How it knows? Because we told it, we gave the value labels. And if you actually it's here 1. So if you don't want to see these value labels, you can go and press here. Here, value labels. Then it will be 1 and 2. Actually, it's 1 and 2. However, now my next question is, right now, is this clear? Before I go to the next question on missing data, right? Is this clear?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. So if you have done it or not, now this particular session is also recorded. So even if you had not come at all to any of these sessions that we had done, or if you cannot remember, if you did not have SPSS, a good time to practice creating an SPSS data file. And I'm teaching you some shortcuts as well as best practices as a researcher that I do. I create a separate code book, so you will never forget it. In SPSS, of course, the value labels are there, but in Excel, after 1 month, you wouldn't remember what's 1 and what's 2. Right? Whether 1 is male, 2 is female, you can. So don't be lazy, create that, because later on you might need to. But once you create in Excel, in SPSS, of course, it's there. Right. Okay. So then I'm going to use this button over here and show you, okay. So this person is a male. The first person is a male, 30 years old, smoker, smoking cigarettes, and then how many is being indicated. So this person is not smoking cigars, pipes, suruttus in Sri Lanka maybe. And I said as a ganja suruttus, okay, different suruttu types are there, right? Then your name is, then give up, never use those things. Then you can see also, yeah, this person strongly agrees that tax on tobacco. What does it say? Tax on so tobacco should be. Of course, we'll go to the word file, and it says, but tax on tobacco is too high. The person is right on the statement. tells what? Tax the opinion taxer. So you can see if you go to the data view, the person says strongly agree. Right? Because he's a smoker indeed. I would say put more taxes. Then smoking is dangerous to our health. But this person says strongly agree. Then why he's smoking? And you can see that he's smoking how many? 20 cigarettes per day. My goodness. And then smoking should not be allowed in cinema. This person says strongly disagree. Anyone who is saying censor should tell strongly. But in America, it seems in a certain period, even in Sri Lanka, right, it was very normal to smoke anywhere. In the car with others inside, in your homes, right? That kind of, blended people were there. Still, there are certain people, right? Without smoking, they cannot go even to the toilet. Toilet attendants may prove to a court, right? Fortunately, we don't have that kind of people right now. Then see the second person, right? It's a female. The person doesn't smoke. So do you need to fill this? If the person is not a smoker, then do you need to fill this? It's left blank, isn't it? So if no, then you don't need to fill this. Why? Because you are not a smoker. Then you don't, it's no point asking how many cigarettes do you need to smoke? Or are you a cigarette smoker? Not a smoker, then the person will say whether the thing is agreed on, because I think you can remember there's a skipping pattern, right? If a person says no, not a smoker, then the person is asked about the opinions, because no point asking whether cigarette smoke or not. But see whether there's a problem. Now see, there is this female. This female. This female says, yes, she's a smoker. And she says, yes, she smoked cigarettes. And she has left blank on how many cigarettes she smoked. Is that allowed? Is that okay? What's this data actually? Huh?
Missing data.
Missing data. Very good. Because if you say you are a smoker and if you are a cigarette smoker, then you cannot leave it blank. Then you should say, okay, per day, how many cigarettes you smoke? But you cannot leave it blank. You cannot leave it blank. So therefore, this becomes a missing data. Right? How about this one? This is a male says yes and given an answer. Again, this male and he's a cigarette smoker and he has left a blank. Is that acceptable? No. Right? These are missing data. So we need to tell that missing data means you are supposed to give an answer but not given an answer. So you are supposed to tell how many cigarettes. If you say you are a cigarette smoker. But here, look at this one. This person is a smoker, but not a cigarette smoker. Then do you need to fill this? No. Because that person smokes cigars. My God, a female of 36 years age smokes cigars. Very curious, isn't it? Right. But here you can leave it blank, no problem. It's not missing data. Again here, yes, yes, smoking cigarettes, but left blank. That's not good. If you say no, then you don't need to fill this, right? You can just directly go here, right? Then yes, 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 yes. Okay, 40 cigarettes, my goodness. A female of 55 years age, I don't know how she lived 55 years. Smoking 40 cigarettes per day, right? You can see, right? What has happened. So you can see in how many cigarettes variable there are missing data. So if you say, yes, you are a cigarette smoker, you have to tell how many cigarettes. You cannot leave it there. Did you understand? Is that clear? So that's the difference between blank data and missing data. Here you can leave blank because if you are not a smoker at all, then you don't need to worry. But here in how many variables you have what? You have missing data. And let's go and see, okay. Now see, are there missing data under opinions? Missing data the opinions one. Right? You cannot leave these questions blank, even if you are a smoker or not, you have to tell your opinions. But see, right, the 8th respondent had not given any response here. The 11th respondent also has not given a response here. So this has been left blank. It's not acceptable as well. So yeah, everyone are required to give their opinion whether a smoker or not. But some people have not, they have responded to first 2 questions, but not to the last question. So that creates what? Missing data. So in Excel, we cannot distinguish between blank, 0, and missing data. But in SPSS, you can specify missing data. How can you do that? Now here there's a missing data. Yes, yes, and there should be given some value. Right? Yes, yes. Here some value should be given. Here some value should be given. You cannot leave it blank. And also you can see here there are missing data as well. So how to specify missing data in SPSS? That's the next thing that I'm going to teach. How to specify that. It's very easy. How to do that? You go to variable view and you can see there's a variable property called missing. Variable property called missing. So what you can do is for the variables that you have missing data, like what? How many? How many? I saw some missing data. So under this one, I'll say, right, I'll give a very high value, 999, because a person cannot smoke 999 cigarettes per day. If you still believe that a person could smoke 999 cigarettes, then make it 9,909. So give a big value for this discrete missing value and press OK. Then it's 999. And then for these opinions, particularly, I'll again specify for taxes. Right, I'm again going to say 999 opinion on taxes. There were no missing data on that, but I'm just going to do that. Here also for the next opinion on health, 999. And then it is allowed to smoke in. So I'm going to say 999. We'll see why I'm going to put in 999 here. First thing, because these are missing data. 999. Then I'll go to the data view. And what I'll do is I'll type here, right? These are missing data because the person has told that person smokes cigarettes, but has not told the number. So I'll put 999 to indicate that it's a missing data. Here, I'll say this also. This is male 1055, right? I put again 999 to indicate that's missing data, right? Then yes, no, okay. No cigarettes, there's no problem. It's the person is saying cigars, right? So yes, yes. Then again, just yes. Then it has to be 999. Extremely large value I'm going to put to indicate missing values. Because now I cannot go and again get the correct value. The person has not filled it. So the person is not there now to get that. And also here also I'll be putting 999. Here I'm going to put 999. Here I'm going to put 999. Denote missing values. Here also I'm going to put 999. Here also I'm going to put 999 to indicate missing values. Right. Then afterwards I'm going to save this file again. So the file is saved. Right. Now you have your completed data set. And yeah. And here also I can see now the person has to say if that person was a smoker, right? Now this person, for an example, now these people, no point asking whether they try to give up because they have said no. They are no smokers. They no point asking whether you try to give up, right? How about this person? The person is smoking 10 cigarettes per day and has not indicated, right, whether that person tried to give up or not. So is this a missing value? What do you think? Hmm? Is it a missing value? Is it a missing value?
Yes.
It's a missing value. So we have to specify for give up variable also a missing value. So you can see the give up variable is there. So there also I'm going to press 9, 9. I'm going to press OK. So now I can go and type here this also 9, 9, 9. You put 999 to denote missing values. And later on, I'll show you that this 999 will be ignored when you do analysis. And also you'll see that there's an error in the data set. What's the data error? What's the error? You can see here under give up, there's number 3. Can there be number 3? So if you go to the original data set, there's number 3 over there. Okay. Can there be number 3? Okay. So here, this whether the person tried to give up. Under give up, there could be only 2 conditions. Have you ever tried to give up? It's yes, 1, no, 2. Can there be number 3?
No.
You can't. You can't. So therefore, better in that case, you have to check the questionnaire. Maybe in the data entry, you might have made a mistake. Like when you entered the data into this particular Word file, right? You might have made a mistake. Maybe it could be a number 2. Or even, no, probably this person, yeah, maybe I don't know whether the person might, it might be number 1 or number 2, I don't know. Maybe that person might have tried to give up or not. I don't know. But probably it seems that she's smoking. She's a she. She's smoking 50. No, sorry. She's smoking how many cigarettes? 3 cigarettes. No. So probably she might have tried to give up. So therefore, maybe we can select yes rather than having to. Right. But best to take the original questionnaire this person filled and rectify that error. Right. You might have the physical questionnaire with you. Check that and right. You have given the reference number. Number 15. Take the reference number 15 questionnaire and rectify that. Right. So now the data set is almost fine. Right. Likewise, students, what I'm trying to tell you is once you are trying to create a data set, follow these things and create this data set properly. Okay, and I'm going to save it. Any questions that you have? Questions, concerns? Is it clear? Today I taught you shortcuts, right? And about code book, a lot of other important information that are a little bit advanced topics that I did not cover. But again, it's very simple things to understand. Any questions? Is it clear? Clear?
Yes.
Very good. How about others? Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, very good. SPSS, right? So if you did not understand, don't worry. What you can do is you can practice again and you can ask me. Anytime ask me. And I prefer to have these physical lectures because then I can help you. But I don't know how the arrangements would be in the future. Right? But never mind. Okay. Okay, so shall we have a break now? I think we continuously did for several, you know, from 7:30 onwards we did. Now it's almost 9:05. So shall we take a 20-minute break? So around 9:55. Okay, Puta, good. So we'll take a small break and then Puta, after that I'll teach you frequencies. Okay. And
Excuse
before
me,
that,
sir.
Puta, if someone is trying to speak. Hello?
Yes,
Puta,
sir.
please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead, Puta. Yes.
Sir, data.
පුතා මං හිතන්නේ ඔයාගේ එකෝ එකක් ඇහෙනවා device දෙකකින් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා අපේ. It seems you are coming from two devices පුතා. So you can maybe mute and keep your phone away and phone එකේ පුතා ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා වගේ. Yes පුතා කියන්න.
දැන් හරි සර්.
දැන් හරි. දැන් නියමයි. කියන්න. අනිවාර්යයෙන්.
සර් data view එකේ තියෙන sheet එකේ gender
ඔව්.
එක දැන් gender එකට අපි coding කරානේ 1 2 විදියට.
ඔව්.
ඒකේ ඒක data view එකේ මගේ පෙන්වන්නේ coding එක විදියටමනේ 1 2 1 2 එහෙමනේ
මේක
ඒකේ
අන්න ඒකට පුතා මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙනවනේ දරුවෝ මේකක් පාට පේනවනේ. ඊට මම මේක
ඔව්.
ගන්න annotation එක. ඊට පුතා මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. A very good question. මම පුතා අහන හොඳ question එකක්. ඉන්න මම ඒකට උත්තර දෙන්න. මම පුතා මේ පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න මේ annotation ගන්න. ඒතර වාට round කරලාම පෙන්නන්න. අන්න මේ මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙන පුතා මේක.
screen එක black කරානේ
screen එක පෙන්නන්න.
නෑ.
ඔයාට විතරද නැත්නම් අනිත් දරුවන්ටත් එහෙමද? Students, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
We can see the
Yes, sir,
screen.
we can see.
You can see the screen. මං හිතන්නේ දරුවෝ ඔයාගේ මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙලා වගේ. චුට්ටක් check කරලා බලන්න. So maybe ඒ පුතාගේ මොකක් හරි පොඩි අවුලක් තියෙනවා වගේ කියන්නේ connection එකේ ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා වගේ. පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු පුතා ඔයාට ඒකට පෙනේ. So මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙනවා මම දැන් ඇඳලා තියෙනවා can others see පුතා that the label data label view can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So indeed, very good Puta. So you can, if you press this button again and again, then gender එකේ පෙන්නනවා male 1 කියලා පෙන්නනවා. ඒක පුතා මෙන්න මේ බටන් එක තමයි value label function. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay පුතා, thank you. So මෙතනින් තමයි ඒක රහස දෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මෙතන right ආයිත් බුත් 1 2 වෙනවා. මෙතන බුත් male female. So good question, very good question. How about others? අනිත් දරුවන්ට කොහොමද?
Now I have
Okay.
a small question.
Of course Puta, please ask me.
Now why do we give higher values for the missing numbers?
අන්න හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඇයි අපි ගොඩක් ලොකු values? Why do we give very large values? Because Puta, because actually now if we give let's say 50, then it can be Puta confused with a real number. පුතා හිතන්න 50 වගේ එකක් දුන්නොත් පොඩි නම්බර් එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒක පුතා මේ තියෙන වැලියු එකක් එක්ක කන්ෆියුස් කරගන්නවා. දැන් උදාහරණයක් 50 අන්න ඒක නිසා තමයි පුතා අපි එක්ස්ට්‍රීම්ලි ලාර්ජ් වැලියු එකක් දෙන්නේ. වෙන්න බැරි වැලියු එකක්. දැන් පවුලක ළමයි ගන්න පුතා අපි දෙනවා 999. ඊටත් දෙන්න බැහැ පුතා 999. සුපර්මෑන් වුණා සුපර්වුමන් වුණා. පිටර ළමයි ගන්න පුතා දරුවෝ විදිහට මේව කරන්න අමාරුයිනේ. ඉතින් අන්න ඒ නිසා පුතා අපි දෙනවා extremely large value එකක්. හරි? ඒක ලොකු ගාණක් දෙනවා. එතකොට ඇත්ත value එකත් එක්ක confuse වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් උදාහරණයක් හිතන්න පුතා what will happen is now let's say we are going to give it's a හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවේ. තාමත්ම නියම ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවේ. අපි හිතන්න පුතා දැන් මේ අපි දෙනවා 50 කියලා. ඒතර ඇත්ත 50කුත් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඇත්තට මේ මනුස්සයා 50 පාරක් ස්මෝක් කරනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ සිගරට් 50ක් මොනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දවසකට. The person might be smoking 50 cigarettes. To avoid that confusion, you give extremely large value and denote it as a missing value. Right? A very nice question you asked. Got the point?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent, Putha. So I'm getting very good questions because you are practically you are applying this. So that's what I find it very interesting being you are being adult students. That's what I love teaching people like you because you are thinking beyond what I teach and trying to apply that using your own experience. Very good. So you are visualizing your own research. You are visualizing maybe your workplace where if I'm going to create a data set, how I'm going to do that. And then you will be using that as well. Right? Excellent. How about others? ආපුතා මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? හොඳ ප්‍රශ්න කීපයක් ඇහුවා. ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ වැලියු ලේබල් එක ගැන ඇහුවා ඊට පස්සේ පුතෙක් ඇහුවා ඊට පස්සේ පුතෙක් ඇහුවා මේ ඇයි අපි ටික විශාල ගාණක් දාන්නේ 999 ඉතාමත් හොඳ ප්‍රශ්න. How about others? Someone will get power. No ගැටලු? Okay. Right. එහෙනම් පුතා අපි පොඩි විනාඩි 20ක විතර මේකක් අරගෙන we'll meet at 9:30 and then afterwards I'll teach you right how to do a frequency analysis, how to draw a pie chart, and how to do even recoding, sorting, and even how to calculate the average value of a certain variable. The basic dynamics I'll teach you. Right. Then with that, with this revision, you will be very much comfortable to continue with the other batch who are a little bit advanced, but now it's stopped. And then you will have a good ability to do your analysis. Okay. So shall we now take a small break and shall we meet at 9:30? Okay. Thank you. So we'll meet. So please have your dinner or whatever, and maybe your lunch or maybe even your breakfast sometimes. So if you are joining from some other country. So therefore, we'll meet at 9:30. We shall have now small break. Okay. Students, Puta, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Puta. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to do certain frequency analysis as well as drawing pie charts and doing some descriptive analysis using this SPSS file. For that, since you need this file, maybe you have not yet prepared that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now send this file to you, right? So let me see whether I can do it by Zoom, the Teams chat engine. Let's see whether I can send it to you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Puta.
සර් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. දැන් අපි
Oh,
මිසිං වැලියුස් අපි දැන් 999 කියලා අපි දානවනේ මිස් වෙච්ච තැන් වලට. දැන්
ඔව් පුතා.
ඔබ්සර්වේෂන් 100ක් 200ක් වගේ ගොඩක් තියෙනකොට ඒත් අපි මැනුවලි මෙහෙම බලපල දාන්න ඕන මොකක් හරි
ඔව් පුතා. එහෙම පුතා එතකොට දැන් සාමාන්‍ය මිසිං වැලියුස් පුතා එච්චර ගාණක් තියෙන්න බෑ. සාමාන්‍ය මිසිං වැලියුස් එච්චර ගාණක් තියෙනවනේ පුතා ඩේටා වලින් මොන හරි අවුලක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අද මම දැක්ක පුතා මම පුතා ආපු දේ වෙලා තිබුණා. එක ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් කරද්දී data items 81ක් එයා අරගෙන තියෙනවා. data එක ගැන පුතා questionnaires 81ක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් 100ක් තියෙනවා missing data. මම ඒව පුතා 100ක් missing data තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. පස්සේ බැලින්නම් error එකක් ගිහින් පුතා ඒක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැතුව දරුවෝ මේ දැන් මෙතනත් පුතා හරි අස්වාභාවික 15 දෙනෙක් අතර මෙච්චර missing data තියෙනවා කියන එක. මොකද සාමාන්‍යයෙන් Google form එකකින් අපි data ගනිද්දී අපිට පුළුවන් යම් questions අනිවාර්ය කරන්න. සාමාන්‍ය අපි පුතා මේ ඔක්කොම ගන්න ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනිකලිනේ. ඒතර Google form එක අපිට පුළුවන් ඒක required question එකක් කරන්න. එතකොට missing තියෙන්න බෑ. ඒ අනුව පුතා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එච්චර ගාණක් තියෙන්න බෑ missing data. එතකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් ඕනනම් 100කට 200කට දෙක තුනක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් පුතා. හැබැයි පුතාගේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ තමයි ඔව් මැනුවලි පුතා අපිට ඒක කරන්න වෙනවා missing data බලමු. පුතා හරි. හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඒක missing data. But if you have too much missing data, then it seems something is wrong. පස්සේ ආරම්භ බලුවා නම් ඒ දරුවන්ගේ data set එකේ පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් ගිහිල්ලා. ඒක අපි නිවැරදි කරා ඊට පස්සේ. ඒ වගේ දෙයක් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
සර් තව ප්‍රශ්නයක්.
ඔව් පුතා.
අපිට එතකොට ඒක Excel එකේදීම කලින්ම ෆිල්ටර් කරලා අරගෙන මිසින් data වලට 999 දාලා import කරන්න
පුළුවන්. කලින්ම පුතා ඔන්න තවත් හොඳ ක්‍රමයක්. දැන් missing data පුතා අඳුරගත්තා නම් අපි Excel එකේදීම අපිට පුතා 99 එක දාලා import කරලා මෙන්න මේ මෙතන ගිහිල්ලා variable view එකේ අපිට specify කරන්න පුළුවන් පුතා මේ 999 කියලා කියන්නේ missing data. ඒක ගොඩක් පුතා ජීවිතේ ලේසි කරනවා. ඒක Excel එකේදීම බේරගෙන එනවනම් ලේසි. හොඳ අදහස්. Very good idea. එතනදී මේක පුතා විසඳගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්. Yes. Further questions, Puta? Good. If you do have any questions, I am getting very, very nice questions, very practical questions. I am very happy about it, right? Now what I will do is, Puta, I will now send you the file I created through the chat. Man chat එකේ දාන්න then create කරපු file. බලමු ඉස්සරහට chat එකේ එකට මට ඉන්න දෙනවද කියලා සමහර වෙලාවට ඉන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මට attach කරන්න නම් දෙන්නේ. බලමු උත්සාහය කරලා file attach කරන්න දෙන්නේ. But එකක් කරන්න එක ක්‍රමයක් නෙවෙයි ක්‍රම රාශියක් තියෙනවා. So what I do is I will create මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම create කරන්න මේක. So tobacco. I share that with you. Opinion on tobacco කියන file එක copy කරලා ඕනනම් පුතාලට මම Excel file එකක් මම මේ දෙකම පුතාලට දෙන්නම්. Copy. Yeah, I can put in that LMS නේ LMS එක දාන්න. නැත්නම් ඊටත් වඩා හොඳ ක්‍රමයක් බලන්න ලේසියෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. මම මේ පුතා මේ OneDrive එකට දාලා move to OneDrive. තවත් open කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඒකයි. copy කරලා and just put that to my OneDrive. Paste. And let me create a shareable. Particles one by one. So I'm going to send this file to you. So the link, you can download this link, right? So that's the SPSS file, and also I'll send you the I'll also send you the Excel file. So if you want to practice then these files are also there. So please download both of these files, the Excel file as well as the SPSS file. Right? Did you get that? Files there both are. Now I'm going to tell you how to do certain analysis. Now you have created your dataset create color. You have created your dataset. Now let's see how you are going to perform certain analysis. This is extremely easy. Right? So I'm going to use the same file and I have also shared that file in case if you want to do the analysis. So now you have prepared the file. Then file එක prepare කරලා තියෙන කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. දැන් තියෙන පුතා අපිට පොඩි analysis ටිකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින්ලා පුතා I will teach you how to do frequency analysis. Right? අපි දැන් ඉතින්ලාම පුතාලට මෙන්නේ මම ඊළඟට ගන්නෙ. So I will take first එක මම පුතා දැන් ඔක්කොම summarize කරලා කිව්වා. So what I'll do is now I will go to session. So you can see that I'm going to the second series. Let me take a video session 2 descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics we have to understand what's the main objective of doing descriptive analysis. So for this we'll use this data set later on. So you can see why we do descriptive analysis to describe the sample. Sample එක describe කරන්න තමයි කරන්නේ. එතකොට so also we can see that there are different types of descriptive statistics. Right? විවිධ වර්ගයේ descriptive statistics analysis කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේකේ තියෙන පළවෙනි එක තමයි වරකට පේනවා. You can see the first one is frequency analysis. We will see how to perform frequency analysis. And that's one of my main objective of doing this revision. So you will understand. Now let's say for an example, remember you do descriptive analysis for categorical variables. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි descriptive analysis කරන්නේ categorical variables වලට. Categories තියෙන variables වලට තමයි අපි descriptive analysis කරන්නේ. Keep that in mind. We do descriptive analysis for categorical variables. Now tell me looking at this data set, by looking at these variables, what are categorical variables? What are my data set categorical variables මොනවද කියන්නේ? categories විදිහට තියෙන data මොනවද? මොනවද categories විදිහට? උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් gender, age කියන එක categorical variable නෑ. මොකද ඒක age එක ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. You have given the actual age. So you have given the actual age. You have written that and then you have put that into this data set. So age is not a categorical variable. But how about gender? Is gender a categorical variable?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Gender is a categorical variable. Why is that? Because you can see very well, there are two categories, male and female. Smoker, whether the person is a smoker, is it a categorical variable? Yes, there are two categories, yes and no. How about whether the person smokes cigarettes or not? Yes, no. Is it categorical?
Yes.
Yes, very good. How many cigarettes this person smokes? Is that categorical? No. Right? It's a discrete variable, but not a categorical variable. Discrete variable actually can දශම තියෙන්න බෑ. For a discrete variable, you cannot have decimals. Now, for an example, cigarette පුතා කාලක් 1.5 1.6 පුතා බොන්නේ you want smoke 1.5 cigarettes. Either it's 1 or 2. Then පවුලක ඉන්න බබාලා ගන්න. Is it discrete or continuous? Continuous කියන දශම තියෙනවා. Continuous means you can have decimals. Then let's say the babies in a family, the children in a family. Can it be decimals? You can't know. Is it maybe it's 1, 2, 3 or 4 or maybe 10 or something like that. But it cannot be 1.5, right? Even if the mama is pregnant, we don't say it's 1.5 or 1.75. We say it's 1, 2 or 3, right? Okay. Then whether the person smokes pipes or not, is it a categorical variable? Yes, because it's yes and no. Whether the person smokes cigars or not, is it a categorical variable? Yes, again it's yes and no. Whether the person tried to give up or not, you can say again yes and no. But then on the other hand, you can see the Likert questions. Those are also type of categories, but we don't call them categorical variables. We call them Likert type variables. So actually, since those have equal intervals, at least like the equals, we call it Likert type questions. Okay, so you can see here we have several categorical variables. අපිට වෙනවා categorical variables රාශියක් මේ data set එකේ තියෙනවා. Continuous variable එකකුත් තියෙනවා. Age කියලා age වගේ continuous variable එකකුත් තියෙනවා. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් තියෙනවා තවත් අපිට cigarettes ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක continuous නේ, but it's a discrete variable. Now remember very well. මේක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. You can take down a note. Note එකක් ලියා ගන්න. Please write down a note. Descriptive analysis. මෙන්න මේක තියෙනවා note එක තියෙනවා මම හයිඩ් දෙන්නම්. So there's a note. So it says descriptive analysis. So that's the topic that we are going to do. Descriptive statistics or descriptive analysis. And there, please take down the descriptive analysis that we are going to talk. So you can see here, there are several types of descriptive analysis or descriptive statistics that you can do. Today, we are going to discuss about frequency analysis. Therefore, under descriptive analysis, please take down performing frequency analysis for categorical variables. For categorical variables, within brackets, example gender, within brackets, example gender, right? Performing frequency analysis for categorical variables. Performing frequency analysis for categorical variables. Within brackets, example gender, close brackets, using SPSS. Using SPSS. Let's see how to use SPSS and perform analysis for categorical variables. Right. Okay. So let's now see how to do that for these categorical variables in this dataset. Very easy. We'll go to analyze. Then go where? The frequency analysis. Then make a write down analyze, put a small arrow and say descriptive statistics. And put a small arrow and go to frequencies. Analyze descriptive statistics and go to frequencies. Right? Clear? Analyze descriptive statistics, frequencies. Now these are for categorical variables like gender and smoker, those kind of variables. Right? Analyze descriptive statistics, frequencies. Click the dialog box. Make it variable sticker almost. Now, if you want to, for the gender variables, you want a frequency table, you can put it over here. Gender. Smoker connect. That's also a categorical variable. Do you smoke cigarettes? Yes, that's a categorical variable. But how many is not a categorical variable? So let's leave it as it is. Do you smoke pipe? It's a categorical variable. Do you smoke cigars? It's a categorical variable. Have you ever tried to give up smoking? That's a categorical variable. Then others are not categorical variables. Right? Then afterwards, what you have to do is just press OK. Then immediately you can see SPSS generates in the output file, which is separate file from the data file. Make an output file, alut file. Make a save you have to save this separate. You can see now you have got these variables. Gender, you can see male, female, and you can see out of 15, 7 are males and 8 are females. So it's given in percentage. Percentage. So 7 divided by 15 multiplied by 100 is 48.7. And you can see the percentage and valid percentage are the same. Why? Because there's no missing data. Missing data is percent column valid percent column. Now, but you will see down in certain tables, this is quite different. And the cumulative percentage is 47 point plus, 46.7 plus, 53.3, it's 100. So likewise, that's a running total cumulative percentage. In smoker, so you can see the majority. Now, the majority in this sample are whom? Males or females? So those are the insights. Data analysis insights. The majority like sample. Who is the majority? Males or females? The answer is
Females.
there. Females. Right? 53.3% are females. Right. Then in this sample, are the majority smokers or non-smokers?
Smokers.
Smokers. Very good. But smoke, right? What a foolish thing, right, to do. Right? Wasting money as well as killing yourself as well as killing your loved ones. Whatever type of drugs, recreational or whatever type of drugs is not good. Even medication is not good, right? Too much. It will impact your health in a different way. Right? So therefore be careful. So you can see out of the sample 15, 88.7, right? Was in fact how much? 66, isn't it? 66 point, almost 2/3, 66.7 are smokers. My God, very bad. Then the next question is, so how many cigarette smokers are there? You smoke cigarettes. How many cigarette smokers are there? And now you can see also a difference between percent and valid percent column. What's the difference? දැන් කලින් ඒවා ඒ වෙනස තිබුණේ නැහැ. now පේනවා මේ cigarette smokers කියන variable එකේ තියෙන වෙනස. percent column එක කියනවා yes කියන කට්ටිය 60යි. right මේකේ තියෙනවා my goodness that's 90. Right. What's the difference? 80 and 9. Very good. Missing values. You can see under percent column, there is a percentage given to the missing values. So you can see we specified 999. There are 5 missing values. So 33.3% has been given for that missing value. So that's the total here. So yes, no, for people who told yes, it's 60%. The people who told no, it's 6.7. The total is 66.7. Then the missing values, there are 5 people out of 15 missing. So 33.7. You can see. But the valid percent column, you have ignored the missing values. Valid percent column make calculate කරන්නේ missing values ignore කරලා එතන 10ට විතර. නැත්නම් මෙතන අරන් තියෙන 15ට. So you are taken for 15. So here you are given percentages for even missing values, 33.3. But on the valid percent column, they take only the valid response. They ignore, SPSS ignores the missing, system missing, what are the missing values. And you can see now it has been taken 10 and is equated to 100, and 8 divided by 10 is 8%. So 80% of people smoke cigarettes who are smokers. Right? Who are smokers. Right? Actually, here you have to understand, Putha, now, here, right? Yeah. Now, the difference between missing and system missing. Yeah. Now, look at, now here, of course, these 5 actually is system missing. That means we have not specified. Actually, these are cigarette smokers. So you are not specified, right? Is that just dot? Or dot system missing. But now you can see, for an example, if you have specified 999, right? If you have specified 999, then that becomes a user specified missing value, not a system specified missing value. Now, for an example, look at here. Here it says, now, did you try to give up smoking? We saw there was one guy who did not respond, right? Who had said yes, but then afterwards, who was a smoker, right? Not just here. Earlier he told he was a smoker or she was a smoker, but then later on that person has not told whether that person tried to give up or not. So therefore we specified 999 as missing. So this 999 is called user specified missing values. So there was 1. Then the remainder becomes system missing, which is system missing means you just leave a blank. That's called system missing. So that's not applicable. Not applicable. So you see the difference between system missing. Now for an example, අපි ගත්තොත් මේක දැන් මේ අරන් බලන්න මෙන්න මෙතන මේ variable මේ give up කියන variable. And see, now these are blank. These are blank. SPSS considers these, right, as missing, system missing values. We consider that as not applicable values. Because if you say that you are not a smoker, then we don't need to ask whether that person has tried to give up or not, because that person is not a smoker. It's like if you say you are not married, then no point asking how many children that you have. So likewise, you can see here, Right? If you go back to the analysis file, you can see here what has happened. So 6 are there that are system missing. Right? In fact, 5. Right? I will try to give up. Right? So here you have 4 and this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are just not applicable. So in SPSS, we call that system missing. System missing. System missing. There are 5. But on the other hand, here there is 1999. The person said that's a male, in fact, not a female. I'm sorry. It was a male. But that person has told that's a smoker. He's a smoker. But he has not told whether he has tried to give up or not. So that's why we made it 999. Now, output, you can see here, right? That's what we call a user-defined missing value. So this one is over here. So these 5 are not applicable. Although it's missing, it's not applicable. Here there is a user missing value, which is in fact the person had to provide an answer, but not provide an answer. But usually for your information, we don't need to report the percent column values. Please present the valid percent column values. So ignore the missing values. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේක data අපි table එකක ඉදිරිපත් කරද්දී when we are going to present this data to the readers, present the valid percent information. So you can say out of 8 people who responded, right, 77.8% people say they tried to quit. They tried to give up. But then there are, 22.2% people who did not try to quit. Likewise, you can give that explanation, right? Okay. So this is how you will generate descriptive statistics tables, frequency tables. Oh, Buddha, I think there's a question from a student. Yes, Buddha, please ask. Was it a mistake? Or if you want any questions to ask Buddha, now you can ask. I'll be very happy to answer. Is that clear? How to generate a frequency table and interpret the result? So easily you can generate and you can interpret the result. Generate tables and interpret the result. Any questions, concerns? Right. And another way that you can show this is you can draw a pie chart and visually show the proportion. And තව විදියක් තමයි මේක ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේක table එකක් විදියට. So this is as a table. Also, you can show this the proportion as a pie chart. Shall we see how to do a pie chart? So please take down drawing a pie chart using SPSS. Please take down topic, a small subtopic maybe. You could say drawing a pie chart using SPSS. Pie chart. Let's see how to draw a pie chart using SPSS. So to do that, now it's not analyzed. Now you can access these menus while being in the output window or in the data window. Data file එකේ ඉඳලත් පුළුවන් නැත්නම් output file එකේ ඉඳලා මෙන්න මේ analysis file or analysis menu එකට ඕන එකට access වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So how to do that? So you'll now go to graphs. So you can go to graphs. Echo data file එකේ ඉඳලා echo output file එකේ ඉඳලා graph වලට. Please go to graphs and go to what? Legacy dialogues. And go to what? Pie. So I'm going to teach you how to draw a pie chart, right? Graph. So put small arrows and write down. Put the arrows දාලා ලියා ගන්න. ඊළඟ සැරේ අපි physically හම්බෙද්දි මම කියනවා කරලා පෙන්නන්න. So practice this, right? So the students who are joining today, please practice this. There's no excuses. So you have to practice this. So graphs, legacy dialogues, and pie. And it says, okay, summary of group of cases. Yes, we need the summary of group of cases. That's okay. Say define. And then, yes, we need the percentage. Percentage, right? Let's say male and female percentage. So please select the percentage, and then you can see the gender. Gender of the respondents. You can see that variables there and put it define slices by. Define slices by. Okay. And then you can press OK. I just pressed. I take this one, percentage of cases, then I take 10. I took 10 at the variable, and I can press OK. So within seconds, you can see a nice pie chart opens. Right. So here you can see who are the majority. Who are the majority? Majority count.
Female.
Females. You can see apparently it's female. It's female. Right. Now a student might ask, sir, අපිට මේකේ percentage එක දාගන්න ඕන. මේක percentage එක නැනේ කොහොමද percentage එක දාන්නේ? Very easy. These charts in SPSS මේක SPSS එකෙන් copy කරලා කොහෙද දාගන්න පස්සේ ඒක edit කරන්න බෑ, but before you copy and paste, now you can copy this chart, you can right click and you can copy, right? You can copy this and you can then you can go and paste it anywhere. But before you do that, if you want to do any changes, you can double click, right, on the image in SPSS, then the chart editor opens. Right, මට ඕන දැන් මේ percentage එක දාගන්න. Percentage better I want to put the percentage. Right, how to do that? So double click on this chart. Then the chart editor opens. This is called the chart editor. And you can do different things. Now here I'm interested in putting the percentage. To do that, you can see there's a small button over here. Data label mode. Can you see? Data label mode is there. So just click that once. Because I click minimum slice so then it gives the percentage. Then it gives the percentage here as well. You just go and tap on this slice as well as tap on this slice. Then it gives the percentage. Did anyone do that? Was anyone successful? A simple process, isn't it? And of course, try to change the colors if you want. It's blue color and red color. Maybe you can take different other colors that represents gender, right? And once you do that, close the chart editor. Chart editor one. Then it's being reflected in the SPSS view. Now, what you can do is you can copy this and you can paste this anywhere that you want. So these tables, charts, anything can be copied and pasted. Right click, copy and paste it in Excel or Word or whatever that you want. Is that clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay. Right. So let's go back to our data set. Right. Okay. So we did several analysis. Now, finally, before you wind up, I will just show you how to calculate the mean value of the age variable. By the way, age variable as well as the cigarette variable, how many cigarettes they smoke. So how many cigarettes do you smoke? So if I'm going to take the total, right, I'm going to just copy this and I'm going to take this to Excel. Right, I'm going to take the total and I'm going to go to Excel. And My Excel reveal. The Excel file is there. So I'm going to go to a new Excel file. And I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to take the average value of this, the mean value. For that, I'm going to use the average function in Excel. Right, average. And I'm going to select the numbers. The average value is 345 cigarettes or 346 cigarettes per day. People smoke 346 cigarettes per day. Is that correct? Based on the sample? Is that correct, Pudha?
No.
No, absolutely wrong. Why? What it has done is, Excel has also considered this missing values 999. Actually, you shouldn't have taken these, right? You should have taken these when you calculate that average. The average might be 18.8 or 19 something like that. But here, what it did was it took that. Now let's ask SPSS to calculate the average value. And let's see whether it would ignore 999 in doing its computation. So please take down this topic, small subtopic, right? Calculating the mean value of a variable. Calculating the mean value of a variable using SPSS. Calculating the mean value of a variable using SPSS. Right? How to do that? Very simple. You will go to analyze, descriptive statistics. Now don't go to frequencies, go to descriptives. Earlier we went to frequencies. Frequency tables are the frequency will together. Then analyze, descriptive statistics, descriptives. Right? Descriptives. You go there. And then again you can see all the numeric variables are here. And then select what variable? Number of cigarettes. How many? Put that variable over here. How many? And that's all. Just press OK. Just select how many cigarettes and press OK. How many cigarettes? 345? 237 Excel लिखे होगी. In Excel, how much was it? Other file. In Excel, it was 345, which is a wrong value. So actually, this missing value should have been taken off. 18.83. That means 19 cigarettes almost. Right. If you now look at in SPSS output, you get how much? 18.8. So you can see SPSS has automatically ignored the missing value. SPSS has automatically ignored the missing values. Right? SPSS and also it says the minimum value is 3 cigarettes, the maximum is 40 cigarettes, and also the standard deviation is 12 point something. So now 13, the standard deviation. Right? Clear? Okay. So you can also do the same thing to calculate the mean value of the 8 variable. Likewise, you can do different kind of estimation. So next time, that's what I'm going to teach you, right? How to compute different descriptive statistics. How to compute different descriptive statistics, right? In terms of continuous variables like the age variable. So the next time, which the other batch, I'm going to teach you how to compute measures of central tendency, like mean, median, mode. I just showed you mean, and I'll teach you how to calculate mean and mode. Then measures of dispersion and measures of distribution. So all this will be discussed. right? And then also, I'll be teaching you again how to draw histograms, pie chart already I taught you, and bar charts, even complex bar charts, I'll teach you how to do. Right? So when it comes to dispersion, maximum, minimum, range, in IQR, variance, standard deviation, what are those? I'll teach you with examples. In measures distribution, what you mean by skewness and curtices. We'll see, I'll be teaching how to calculate these things as well. Right? Okay, I think that's enough for today. Any questions before we wind up? So is SPSS difficult? No, not at all. For the examination purposes, as I told you, we'll be giving the output, like you don't need to do that on paper, right? On using the computer. Of course, you will be giving paper output like this, and you'll be asked to interpret the results. Exam එකේදී කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ output එක දෙනවා. දීලා කියනවා මේක interpret කරන්න. Like for an example, in the interpretation, you will see that females are the majority, right? Unfortunately, the smokers are also the majority in this sample. Likewise, you can interpret the result. I'll teach you how to do that. Okay. So I think high time to, because it's almost now 10, 12, and right. I don't mind. I love teaching SPSS and statistics. I started today at 8 a.m. my lectures, and still I'm very happy. I'm not tired. Because teaching this subject inspires me, motivates me. Any questions? Now time is for asking questions. Is it clear? So we created an SPSS dataset from Excel and did several analysis, some basic analysis indeed, and we did the computations. Any questions? මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා? පැහැදිලිද පුතා? ඉන්නවද මගේ දරුවට නින්ද ගිහලාද?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So Puta, very happy to be with you. And if you do have any questions, please ask me next time as well. So we'll meet next week, hopefully. And we'll continue our discussion on generating descriptive statistics, on measures of central tendency, dispersion, and distribution, and how to come up with more advanced charts. And even I'll teach you how to draw a very advanced bar chart that might take hours and hours to do that in Excel. But in SPSS, it's a matter of very simple computations, simple clicks. Okay, so with that, I think you have to go for your jobs tomorrow, right? So indeed, so therefore we'll stop now. So wish you all the best, and we'll meet next week. Thank you. Thank you very much.